is Eric Sheptock. I was born in Atlantic City in 1969. So I'm 42 years old. Actually, when I was 8 months old, my parents almost killed me. They beat my head open and left me to die in a motel room. I have a big scar on the back of my head. My head over here is all dented. I had 3 craniotomies on my head. And I was in foster care for almost 5 years until the age of 5.5. And I was actually born as Eric Gooden, Gooden. And then at 5.5 years old, I got taken from the foster home. I got taken in by the Sheptocks, Rudy and Joanne Sheptock. He's Polish, or was Polish. He's passed away. She's Italian. She's still living, and she's in Florida. And they took me from Atlantic City over to Chester, New Jersey, where we lived for about a year. I was actually their 10th child. They had 6 natural, and I was the 4th adopted one. And then after they got me, they had 1 more natural child, and they adopted a grand total of 30 children. So they raised 37 children. Actually, the last 5 were adopted since I've been grown. And so I actually didn't even grow up with them, with the last 5. But when I was with them, they had 10 girls and 22 boys, and all the girls were Marys. Mary Ann, Mary Frances, Mary Jean, Mary Sue, Mary Claire, Mary Christine, Mary Margaret, Mary Grace, Mary Ellen, and Mary Elizabeth. And so I actually, so they moved from Chester to Peapack a year after they got me. And Peapack is in central New Jersey in Somerset County. And they bought a mansion there. And the mansion had 13 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, library, parlor, 2 dining rooms, attic, basement, 5 acres of land, above ground pool, barn, corral, wooded area. So it was a real nice sized place. And then when I was 16, they moved from New Jersey down to Florida. And I finished school in Florida. They moved to a town called Interlochen, which is on Highway 20 between Gainesville and St. Augustine. Well, we always ate dinner together as a family. My father always sat at the head of the table, and being that we had a large family, we had these really long tables. And so my father was always there in the evening, and prior to eating dinner, he'd always read the Daily Bread, the little excerpt for that day, and then he'd say the grace, and we'd all eat together, and I think the most that my parents had in the house at one time, because of the large age range, is 28 kids. So even though there's 37 of us, they had 28 at the most at one time, and so yes, we did eat together, and my father was actually very much of a family man. And he actually loved to spend time, with his kids and teach them different things, I remember when I was 5 years old how he sat me in his lap and taught me how to whistle, and he'd do his little magic tricks for us and entertain us. And my father actually, for more than 20 years, he actually worked for the school system. He was the superintendent of buildings and grounds over 4 schools in Mountain Lakes, New Jersey. And so during the summer, while we're all off from school, he would from time to time take us to work with him, and have us play on the playground or in the gym, while he was working, and we got to meet all the people that worked for him, so it was actually a very good upbringing. People would always say, heck, you can have like your own football team with all the kids you got here, and that was very, very true. We'd play together a lot. I don't have everybody's phone number. I have some of them on Facebook, and I have a couple of brothers in North Carolina who I call quite often. If I don't call them, they call me, and so we are still in contact. My mom plans to have a family reunion in November, and so we're going to see how many folk can make it down there, and with my various siblings and their children. It should be a pretty big event, and with their spouses, of course, too. And so I'm going to see just how well that goes, and get some money together, between now and in November to do some traveling.